Oh, that'll be a fun episode.
What, how brains work?
No, me not talking.
Oh.
I'm the one that's bringing the fucking life to the party.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
You're welcome.
Some real fucking energy we got going on here tonight.
Yeah, I just worked a 10.5-hour day.
I just talked straight for 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and now you're on the podcast, so no more talking straight.
Oh, yeah, that is this podcast. No, it's evident.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, they all listen to Gay Chicken.
Well, listen, you live your life.
I feel like people got a hint of that episode, and that's why we've been getting all these new subscribers.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's been like 4 in like 2 days.
Yeah, welcome everyone who's like a new Patreon subscriber.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. I know some of you are on the Doc Squad already. That's awesome. Love that.
For those who don't have a financial reason, what the fuck?
Wow. At least you put the caveat in there.
Look, I'm not a complete monster. Complete,
yeah.
Yeah. We have a review.
Hey.
Oh, wait. My name is producer Richard, and across me is the doctor himself.
Hi. Oh, you're welcome. Wait, didn't I say that?
Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you. We got a review.
Oh, right. The format.
Oh, God. You know how strict we are with it.
Oh, Lordy.
We got a 5-star review from Imager from Andrew Delgado.
Is that how you pronounce it? I'm legitimately asking. Yeah. I've always said Imgur, but I don't know how you...
I think it's Imager.
Imgur or Imager? Because you just said Imager.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but yes, from Imgur or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's yes.
Yeah. This review is in the form of like 6 or 8 panel comic.
Yes, it's so I'll try to do my best to describe what I'm seeing.
And we'll post the link when the episode comes out.
But this is like a Legion of Superheroes situation. What is it?
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, sorry.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom. And then it's like from outside of it, and it says to pull off an operation like this, your team needs a specialized set of skills. And then you go inside, and it's Lex Luthor and Grodd, I guess.
Yeah.
It says, and if you ask me, this crew is more than up to the task with all they have going on for them. Then we go on, and it's a conversation between Brainiac and the Riddler.
Can I see? Yes.
Look at me.
Look at you.
An apparatus for probing questions and insightful answers about this universe. And then there's a shot of Joker who's looking at Batman getting lasered. And it says, a killer sense of humor, if occasionally, frequently unhinged. And then I'm not sure who this guy is.
Cluemaster,
who looks like he's like in like an actual like game.
Yeah.
Like a show,
like a game show.
That's the words together.
Wow.
I'm also a little buzzed, to be honest. It's just hitting me right now. It says a healthy sense of showmanship, and then who's this guy?
Vandal Savage
in front of like a safe. It says, and a dark past that must never be uncovered. And then Lex again, and it says, and this endeavor has all the makings of a fantastic production that simply cannot be missed. And then we see Grodd and Lex, where there's like a giant like laser beam thing.
Yeah.
And it says, and so the record must be set straight. The world has to know. Grodd's like, what is the meaning of this, Luthor? What are you doing? Luthor says, sending a message. And then you see you shooting a laser at the moon. And on the moon, it says, Dr. DC podcast, and there's 5 stars.
It's awesome.
I love this.
So cool. Did we say who this
Andrew
was from?
Delgado.
Okay, I wasn't sure if we cut that off
No.
because we were talking the Imgur debate.
No, it's Andrew Delgado.
Andrew Delgado
Made a fucking comic.
so cool. Thank you so much.
Can I tell you, Andrew? A lot of your framing is really, really well done.
Yeah, I like the panel layout.
Yeah, you did a good job.
I like the layout. I'm into it.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah, so we'll definitely post a link to that. Super cool. Really, really neat stuff.
Someone made a fucking comic as a review. This is the type of dedication that I'm looking for.
Yeah. Well, it's actually the type that we're expecting.
To be honest, yes.
So, everybody else,
get your shit together.
Dan Dunn has written a song for us.
Yeah, that I like that. That's good.
He's actually written a couple for
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Josh Gill gave us his body.
Yeah. But I really I'm out for his mind.
Are you?
No, I always want his body.
Is quote unquote his mind what you call his penis?
I really want to swallow the cum from his mind.
Jesus. So no metaphor.
What?
Okay.
We've got some news. It's been a while. I think like with DC fandom taking up a lot of like the news.
Yeah.
Though them building up to it and sort
And
of
that
like
news is behind the paywall.
maybe. Gotta check that out. But we finally got a few pieces of new news. So.
Interesting.
I know some people were saying like, "Oh, when did we stop doing it?" And I was like, "We didn't."
And sometimes we have guests. You know, we had.
I don't want to like
we had
doing news
Ann
on
on a couple episodes ago, and
yeah, I generally don't like to do news during guests because I'd rather learn about them.
yeah.
But now we finally have a good chunk of news worth talking about.
All right. Well,
So-
let's do it.
Start out by saying Mary Marvel becomes DC's new Shazam.
Yo, this is like pretty fresh
yeah,
news.
it is very fresh.
But yeah,
100% fresh.
yeah. I think that it's called The New Champion of Shazam or something is the name of the book or whatever, and it's coming. What would we be at for solicits now? February or March or something?
Yeah,
February?
probably.
Yeah, it's coming in 2022. Yeah, Mary Marvel is. It's not just a book of Mary Marvel. It's that she is taking over
Shazam
as like
Yeah.
the primary champion.
She looks awesome in the costume too.
Yeah, costume looks dope. I think it's really cool. Love that. I mean, Mary Marvel is a character who's like, listen, the Shazam Mali has lots of characters in it, but Freddie Freeman had his time. Not like a ton, but he had his time, and he got to be Shazam, and he got to do that kind of stuff and whatnot. Mary Marvel has always been kind of like a little off to the side, and there's been little like bits and pieces where it's like, oh, I want more of that. You know, when she's part of the Justice League Incarnate, the Earth 5 Mary Marvel, and you're like, oh, I need more of that one. But that's like that team barely showed up before this year, basically.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So yeah, the idea of getting like some quality Mary Marvel and hopefully a little bit of vigor in the Shazam corner of things. I don't know if anybody's reading the current Shazam series, but like it's a book I don't hear anything about.
So it's
Like,
not terrible, but
I hear stuff about other books and I go like, okay, well, I'm not that interested in Red X, but interesting to know that something's happening in Teen Titans Academy or whatever. But like the Shazam book, I don't hear anything about that. I don't even know if anyone's reading it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stoked about this Mary Marvel thing.
Yeah, I think
that might
that's-
be a reason for me to jump on.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Next, we are heading towards this year's CW crossover.
Well, actually, at the time of recording, it begins tonight.
So the Flash Armageddon poster unveils 8 heroes in this crossover event.
So it's not. It's funny. It's a quote unquote crossover,
We
but
should-
it's all episodes of the Flash.
Oh,
It's not like episodes across the various
Really?
shows. It's the first 5 episodes of the Flash are bringing characters in,
weird.
which I think is actually
I mean, also, what we don't have much shows right now.
it's kind of smart. The tone of Batwoman right now,
Doesn't make sense for a
I don't think it
crossover.
works for that. Especially at the start of the season. Legends is actually great on its own, and it kind of let's not like mess with that shit. Black Lightning is canceled.
Yes.
He said some pretty uncouth things on a Joe Rogan episode. So
the guy?
no, I'm just joking. I said Black Lightning is canceled.
okay.
So I was joking. But like the Ray Palmer, he's not on Legends anymore. So like he's technically not on a show.
Oh, yeah.
So he's coming back for this one. Plus, we saw some set photos that Ryan Choi, who we got in
way
Crisis,
back. Yeah.
we saw him in Crisis. That's that Osric Chow from Supernatural.
Love him.
He's going to suit up as the Atom as well, but with a like more like kind of like the Flash costume, more like kind of skin tight, like fabric. Atom
awesome.
costume instead of the big kind of bulky thing. Despero is the bad guy. It's the actor that played Van Gogh in Doctor Who.
Holy shit, really? I love that guy.
Yeah, he's Despero. I think it's fun. I think this is a good idea to start the season with it. Like, they don't have to be the mid-season things, especially if it's all on one show. Also, let's just kick it off with some energy.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about these big crisis events is they usually don't afford too much time for the interpersonal drama. So let's just go whole hog on superhero-y shit. Get us some energy for season 8 of The Flash and see where that goes. See if they can maintain it from there. I think it's a smart idea. Whether or not it pans out is yet to be determined. But like season 7 really crawled across the finish line.
Yeah.
I think this is important to get people back on board or get people to be like, all right, I'm not done with you yet.
Yeah,
which is kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I guess I can't quit you yet.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now. Yeah.
So
awesome.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll actually watch that. Garth Ennis to write Peacemaker one shot.
Yes, that's right. There's a Peacemaker one shot coming.
That's fucking awesome. I hope it's based on the show. I don't actually know.
I think it's probably set in the comic.
Like the current?
It might not be set in the continuity, but I don't think it's like specifically the show / movie continuity. But Peacemaker has been in the Suicide Squad title right now in comics. He's getting a little moment. I just read is it Suicide Squad 8 or Swamp Thing 8? One of them, and he's actually confronting like the idea of like where can he make the biggest impact and like where can he actually achieve peace versus just spinning his wheels kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool. Do you know a Peacemaker thing that like we don't talk about enough and totally flew under the radar was the Peacemaker backup in the Lemire Inferior 5 book.
Really?
That's like within the last year and a half or whatever. And there's a Peacemaker backup. And I think we don't talk about it enough, but like Peacemaker is getting some play, obviously because of the movie and shit like that. But I'm all for it. And Garth Ennis, I think, is right for the tone of a character like that.
Totally.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Next, Nubia and the Amazons writer canonizes existence of trans Amazons on Themyscira.
Yeah, this is super cool. So, Nubia and the Amazons is its own series. Nubia, who, to put it reductively, is Black Wonder Woman.
Sure.
She's Diana's sister.
Yeah.
Has all of her powers or whatever. She is the current queen of Themyscira.
Wow.
Because Diana has, up until very recently, been presumed dead and has been just wandering the sphere of the gods on a sort of celestial mission. And Hippolyta has gone to man's world to join the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So Nubia has been queen of the Amazons. And in the first issue of this series, for the first time in a very long time, the Well of Souls opens up. And this is the thing from which Amazons are birthed.
Dang.
We've talked about it before. It's like, where do Amazons come from? Or like, do they die and then that's it?
Yeah.
And basically the Well of Souls is like, it brings souls of women who have been wronged and gives them the chance at reincarnation as Amazons.
Yeah.
And there's a little blink and you miss it kind of panel or two in this issue where someone says, I always felt like I was wrong. This is the first time I've ever felt like right or whatever, implying that their soul has always been female and they've finally been reincarnated as an Amazon as like the ultimate assertion of their identity, which is dope as hell.
I love that.
And it could not be put in stronger terms that trans women are women. It's like, you get to be a fucking Amazon.
Yes.
That settles it.
Yeah.
Argument over.
Love it. Yeah, that fucking rules.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a neat little moment.
All right, next. Brendan Fraser cast in villain role for Batgirl.
Right. this all looked like it was relatively corroborated, but I don't know that I ever actually fully followed up. But yeah, there was. It started with it looked like rumors, and then someone was like, "Yeah, it's happening," and then I think I just took it at face value.
I mean, it's still technically rumors that he'll be
I
playing.
don't think it's like 100% confirmed, but the idea is that he would be playing Firefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Garfield Lynns, the pyromaniac Bat villain.
That'd be
but yeah,
cool.
to have him, it's the Fraser sons.
He's
He's back, baby.
and
DC fucking loves him.
It's true. I just hope that like his movies go well, and
I mean, he's in a new Scorsese one.
yeah,
he's on that show with Tom Welling too, The Professionals. That's all about like a mercenary op kind of thing. Yeah, Brendan Fraser's back with a vengeance.
that's fucking awesome.
It's cool as hell. But yeah, so if he is truly Firefly, I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that'll be dope as hell.
Yeah.
Somebody who's not back because they're dead.
Oh, jeez, don't introduce it like that.
What?
Oh, what happened?
The star of ISIS, The Secrets of ISIS star Joanna Cameron dies at age 70.
Oh, like from like the Billy Batson, like the Shazam ISIS hour, like that kind of era of
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. I didn't even hear that one.
Oh,
no.
yeah. Well, unfortunate, but she died like October 25th.
Oh, geez Louise.
Yeah. She played Andrea Thomas and her godly alter ego.
Man, Black Adam's going to be devastated.
Yeah.
This is how World War III started.
Oh no. It was part of the Shazam ISIS hour.
Oh man.
Yikes.
God, I didn't hear that at all. Oh, that's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah. It looks like that was sort of like her big thing that she had did. Yeah. Yeah. Sad.
You keep waiting like I have a joke. This is human life, you fucker.
I
would never.
I mean, you literally would. And have.
Not about life. Never about life.
You if anything, you're very like flagrant with life.
With my own.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, let's get to this week's theme, extrasensory.
Yeah, we're talking about like heightened senses or different senses, all the different kind of superpowers that are like how you perceive things or view things or hear things or whatnot. Yeah,
that's very
pretty
exciting.
broad. We got some cool questions about some different characters and stuff. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, baby. Right. First question comes from Facebook.
Go to the face and the book. Going to the Facebook.
First question comes from We've Only Just Dandon, who asks, I really like the idea that Superman's heightened senses can become a weakness or had to be mastered with training. What are some good stories where this has been explored?
Oh, sure. I mean, like the obvious pop culture ones are two big Superman origin touchstones, which are in like TV and movies, which are Smallville show and Man of Steel, the movie. Both of those have an element of him having to learn them as they develop.
Yes.
Or that he hasn't pushed himself, you know. Man of Steel, he knows he's strong and shit. But the thing he learns in that movie is flying.
Yeah.
And we see as a kid him having to deal with his heat vision and hearing every sound and seeing everyone's organs and shit.
Yeah.
And, you know, we see him having to cope with that. And it's a pretty good... I mean, they do pull it back as a story point later that it is a slight tactical advantage he has over Zod. Barely, but Zod...
But he knows that he's already...
Zod eventually overcomes that. But, you know, Cal uses that in the Smallville fight. He, like, rips off Zod's helmet and Zod's hearing too much. He goes, like, what did you do to me? What did you... And he's... Yeah. It's... So that's kind of like an interesting one. That in Smallville, you know... I think the first time he gets his heat vision, he thinks his teacher's super hot.
Yes.
Like fucking heat vision splooges the projector screen or whatever the fuck happens. And he has to learn how to control shit or whatever.
So funny.
Which is very funny.
He's like wet dreams and like raises up out of the bed.
Yeah, he's got freeze cum.
Yeah.
So it's
Heard of like having to like break socks over your like
Superman, the tsunami's coming. He's like, and so am I. Freezes it. You're welcome. And everyone's kind of like, oh.
You know what?
There was no other way.
Yeah. Couldn't you have like
don't you have freeze breath?
Don't you have hot eyes? Like, can't you just like steam it away?
Don't you have freeze breath? And it's like, well, I used to, but it turns out I could super auto fillate, and it transferred the power to my cum.
Also, like, what would you rather do, breathe or cum? What? What were you gonna say?
Oh no!
Tell me, what were you gonna say?
My instinct whenever we just have like a random kind of sexual joke is to pause a bit and then go, ladies. And then I realized that the sentence you said,
oh no,
that's really bad. But it was like the instinct kicked in where it's like, that's the joke. Go for it. And then I was like, oh, no. Pull up.
Or breathe or cum.
That was a really bad moment for me. I'm super uncomfortable about that now.
That's what she said.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. There's obviously like a kind of training mentorship thing a little bit that goes along with like John Kent and stuff like that when he was a kid.
Like Superboy stuff, or
yeah, when he starts getting his powers and that sort of thing. And so there is an element of the like learning the powers there.
Sure, yeah.
They do, touch on it, when a new Kryptonian shows up and they're like, I've never been under a yellow sun before. And there's like that kind of shit. Or when Batman gets the powers, like they do kind of touch on the like, how do you master it? We take for granted that Superman can just walk into a room, open a door, normally shake someone's hand. But it's like, if we were like, we aren't capable of the proportional feather touch Superman has,
yes.
Right? Like proportionate to our own strength, that would be like us, like gently, like,
but that's the thing also, like when you try
the incredible muscle control of that is the thing that we take for granted. I don't know that I can think of a real standout story that I feel like does it justice, where it's like, holy shit, like,
except for that one where he finally goes like, oh, I can finally use my full strength.
But
now.
what I mean is, we hear him say that shit a lot, or say how careful he has to be.
You don't see him fuck it up.
But or even the other way, I don't know that I can think of a story that does a good job of like showing it.
Yeah.
Like a thing that I like in Man of Steel is that when they show, Zod and he can't handle all the sounds and shit, you get all that kind of really like nauseating X-ray vision thing. You just hear train bells because it's always a fucking train or whatever. You just hear train bells and shit. And I feel like I can't think of a comic that has like put me off balance, like made me feel out of control like that. We just have to take Superman's word for it. He's always has to tell us that either he's cutting loose or that I never cut loose or whatever. But I don't know that I've had the experience of it like through the art and the narration and that. I don't know that I can think of a good comic story that does that. I mean, lots of stories talk about him training or having restraint or whatever, but I can't think of like a good visceral version of it.
It's also interesting because like if you think of like yourself lightly touching something, you probably only have like one actual like lightness to it. Like you probably don't have variations of super light touch.
Well, yeah, because he has to have the range of human touch.
Yes.
From gentle touch to strong handshake.
Yes.
And then all the way up to like I crushed a moon in my hands. Like
that's so much more like dynamics than you would normally
You're right.
have.
Yes, it's true. That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
That's insane.
Which, I mean, just think of like the tantric, muscle control. Lois Lane,
Lucky lady.
smartest woman on the planet.
Dear Lord.
She knows what's up.
All right, let's leave Facebook. Let's run the hell out of here.
Oh, yeah, please.
And get over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from our favorite religious representative,
Chris Chan.
That's right. Who asks, Which characters have fourth wall breaking powers?
Ooh. So,
Grant Morrison.
right. But here, before we get into it, it's important to remember that in DC, canonically, the way that the multiverse works
Yes, our universe
is that our universe, A, is part of it.
Yes.
And B, comic books are the windows into the real events of parallel Earths.
Yes.
That, like, because it's all vibrational frequencies, the idea is that creative-minded people are getting subliminal histories of other worlds and then committing them to the page of a comic. So if a character breaks the fourth wall of a comic, they are seeing beyond the veil of their reality. It's not just that they think they're fictional, it's that they are peering out into the wider omniverse.
Jesus.
They're breaking the foundational structure of the DC multiverse. So, characters that can do that. You brought up Grant Morrison.
Yes.
Also known as the writer, who shows up in the first volume of Animal Man, the original Animal Man series, and then eventually is unceremoniously killed on a mission with the Suicide Squad. But the writer is one of them. Ambush Bug. Very famously, that's an ambush bug ability.
Yeah.
Is that he knows that he's in a comic book. He's currently in the Suicide Squad, and the couple of issues he's narrated, he's like, yeah, you got to go back a few issues to remember this bit. And it's like, oh, wait, no, turn the page. And he's like,
oh, wow.
Can tell you about it. But he'll say stuff like, oh, you didn't read that issue to people in the comic? And they'll go, what? And he'll go like, never mind.
Whoa.
Because they just don't perceive what he perceives. Like,
has that always been the case with him?
Not always, but for a long time, largely. And that's kind of a fun thing to play with, is the idea that it's not just an aside people don't hear.
Yeah.
It's that they know he's doing it, but they don't understand. He's saying issue, and they go like, what do you mean issue? This is life. And he goes like, sure. Wink, wink. Like,
wow. That's
like,
fun.
He's the only one that knows kind of thing is interesting.
I like that.
Depending on the writer, you can get a Harley that is a little
fourth wall-y,
kind of like that. It's not really baked in as an ability the way that it is with Ambush Bug. That's more like a stylistic choice for people writing a story than like an actual character ability.
Yeah.
I might be making this up. I feel like there was a story where the Joker did it.
Really?
I feel like there's a story where the Joker either assumed or realized he was fictional.
Like, you can be like, this is all fake anyways. Like,
it was something like that. Like, it wasn't necessarily him being like, oh, how much did you pay for that? $3.99? Like, it was but something, along the lines of like, we're all made up anyway, or something like.
Or it's a computer simulation, like that kind of idea.
It could have been a thing where it's like worded vaguely enough that it's not that, but because we're reading comics and we're like, oh shit, he knows.
Yeah,
It's like something
because
like
that feels realistic. Where it's because it's like people all the time are like, we're in a simulation.
Yeah, I mean the character who is a literal comic book also has to count. Ultra Comics.
Yes.
Ultra Comics is the only superhero of our world, Earth 33. He's a living, sentient comic book that draws his power from the imagination and buy-in of everyone who has ever read that book.
Yes.
So Ultra Comics inherently is a break in the fourth wall because it is a literal book you can own, and it will tell you that it knows that.
Crazy.
Which is kind of wild.
Love it.
So that's a good example. I mean, those are the ones that come to mind right away. Other characters almost certainly have broken the fourth wall, but it's also like, I'm not counting Animal Man, even though Animal Man does like literally hop out of the frame of a thing, because he's not the one with the power to do it. It was the writer. It was Grant Morrison that did it.
Exactly.
Those are kind of like the big ones that I would go to, though. But yeah, I mean, Ambush Bug, Ultra Comics, and the writer are probably the three most obvious kind of big, fully meta kind of things that are in there.
Totally.
There's other things that kind of like they're metaphorically meta, but they're actually really baked into the structure of things. You know, when you talk about like the hands of the source or things like that, like those are metaphorically creative energies, but they are baked in. They don't look out and go like, and we work in Burbank at the DC Comics offices. Like, they don't do that kind of shit. There's only a handful of characters that really shatter it. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Animal Man, next question comes from Colin J. Video, who asks, can Animal Man reach into the red/morphogenetic field and tap into Krypto's powers, thus gaining Kryptonian powers like heightened senses? Jesus Christ.
No, I believe you mean heightened sentences. More complicated phraseology.
All right, shut the fuck up.
Can he get Krypto's way with words?
How good is that drink, though?
It's fine.
You don't like it
I
more?
like the lemon lavender one better.
Whatever. Anyways.
I don't think pineapple and tangerine and grapefruit work as well together as they want them to.
No, I think they were great.
What was the question? Oh, right. So, Animal Man's powers.
Yeah.
Now retconned to be the red, but he used to just call it the M field or the morphogenetic field. It's basically he can reach into like the connected life web.
Yeah.
And draw on the powers of animals connected to it. So, in space, on another planet, he can reach into that sort of separate pocket of the morphogenetic field and tap into alien animals and shit. He did that in, what is it called? Countdown to Adventure or whatever, that kind of shit.
Does that mean humans too, though?
I mean, technically, but humans have no powers, so why would he?
What, does animals have powers?
He can get their abilities, but like proportionally or whatever. He can get like an animal's night vision, or he can get a starfish's healing, and then he can like regenerate a limb.
Yeah, but couldn't he get like super intelligence from a really smart person?
I mean, I guess technically, if they were that much smarter,
or if he's on an alien planet, aliens have different abilities than humans. So like, what makes something an animal on a different planet and just like the main species?
Here's what I'll say on that note.
Sure.
I think, yes.
Shut the fuck up. It's comics.
Cut this out. No. I think that like the sentient species would count as part of the red. They're animals. He could theoretically tap into that stuff. But I think the way the red works is it's more like the inherent biological traits of an animal. So there are smart humans, but there are also dumb humans. Okay. The only thing he would get is just being human.
Then what about just Kryptonians in general?
But where I'm going with this is like when he reaches in and he's like, I'm going to get a starfish's regenerative ability. I'm going to grow my arm back. It's not like he goes like, oh shit, I got the starfish with a bad regenerative ability.
No, for sure.
He's just getting the general traits and characteristics. So the question then becomes, how much is it genetically altering him? Because does he just access is he just accessing Kryptonian animals' inherent physiology? Or is he getting that and the context of being under a yellow sun?
Yes.
I think the argument is fair that it is altering him genetically enough that it's like he's taking on the characteristics of something Kryptonian. That would include their solar energy absorption. That's an inherent trait of them. So if he's under a yellow sun, then yeah, I guess he could get Kryptonian powers that way. But going back to the first question from Dan Dunn, how easy would that be for him to use and manipulate? I think that would be the interesting story piece of it.
Yes. But also, it doesn't need to be Krypto. It could just be any Kryptonian.
Or any Kryptonian dog.
But I just mean like it could be a person.
But I think it's, yeah, I guess. Yeah, technically.
Like that's a thing that I think, because it's like, if once you start doing that line, it's like, well, what point does something become an animal? And I think that becomes...
Well, yeah, because I mean, you know, like he could tap into like octopuses and dolphins
and
shit,
I mean,
and they're arguably smarter than we are.
So it's like...
So, you know, like, yeah, I mean, he could...
Except for dolphins don't know about consent.
But... Yeah, I think it was a dolphin that made that joke earlier.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you fucking dick, always in the writers' room. Wow, how long have you been sitting on that one?
What, the dolphin impression?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a man of many talents.
yeah, an animal man, some might say.
Oh shit. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. All right.
So yes, he could, but I think the bigger question is how good would he be at using them?
Yeah.
Again, theoretically, you could get the skill with it also from the morphogenetic field, but
Who's
who
to
knows?
say?
Who's to say?
I mean, us, I guess, technically.
Oh shit, I forgot we were a canon podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever said is.
Dr. DC is.
Oh my God, I know what that means.
I know you do know what that. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I love this.
Great book.
Can you do a prescribed digging about that book? People want to know what you think of that book.
Yeah, I'll get to it. Next question comes from the multiverse.
I knew the excitement would only last so long.
Look, I'm still reading things. I just who's the time to say things about it? Ugh, this is enough.
Jesus.
The next question comes from the Multiverse of Marvel podcast, who asks, is there a Wolverine-esque equivalent minus Lobo for being extreme?
Right. So not talking about Lobo riffing on Wolverine's like hyper-violence, but if we're talking about senses, Wolverine, I think, has like the strong sense of smell, right? Like he has like that hunter kind of thing. I mean, the character that comes to mind is like almost a straight analog is Timberwolf in the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
Timberwolf, I mean, he does have some kind of like animal morphe powers now too, but essentially he's like an excellent hunter and stuff like that. He gets these kind of claws and teeth and shit like that, but I could do that sort of like pick up the trail, follow the scent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's a member of the Legion of Superheroes with that specific power. I mean, any character with an animal power could theoretically tap into an animal that could do that. You know, Beast Boy, Vixen, Animal Man, Buona Beast, a bunch of those characters could tap into those things to get that like very specific Wolverine kind of like sense of smell, like he's over here, bub thing. I think any animal powered character could pretty much do that, but for a character that's both kind of gruff and sort of looks kind of like feral and stuff like that, then the closest one is Timberwolf.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Also just a dope ass name.
Yes.
Yeah.
So team.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, you have strong feelings about the Timberwolves?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the Legion of Superheroes.
No, I meant the Timberwolves.
Oh, yeah. No one gives a shit about that.
I was like, really? This?
I forgot that you were a Sporto now.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying the Legion of Superheroes was a so-so team.
Oh, no.
We were about to have words.
Yeah, I'm a jock now, Dorcas.
Oh, no. My wedgie.
That's right. God, though the Raptors are not doing good. They were
They're like barely at 500. Are they below 500 again?
Look, don't worry about it. They were like 5 games, 5 wins, 0 losses, and then it was just like...
Oh, see, now you're one of us, a true Toronto sports fan.
I know.
They're making a bunch of excuses for a team that'll let you down.
Loving a team that starts out good and then immediately
us.
falls off. Fuck. Next question comes from Lesbian of Many Names.
Over the centuries.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and come up with the name.
Oh, that's what I was concerned about. I saw the gears.
Get out of here, Dolphin.
Yeah.
I got a joke.
It rhymes with hike.
Oh no. Don't do that. Dolphin.
Piece of shit.
Jesus, dolphins really are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dolphins.
It's canonical now.
Fuck you and the Aquaman you raised. It was me, Porm.
Oh my God, he made the website?
Pormhub.
Yeah. Lesbian of Many Names asks,
why did we make Porm the dolphin like a weird, sexist, misogynist, bigot troll? I guess because dolphins are assholes, but still.
Cancel culture's ruining comedy.
I always think of that James Acaster bit now. I'm an edgy comedian. I meant to challenge too challenging for you.
It's a great special.
It's really good, yeah.
Lesbian Many Names asks, does a connection to the Speed Force affect one's senses? If there's a change, does it extend to passengers? Example, Barry running while carrying Iris?
Right. So, I mean, the second part first. The Speed Force...
Same as the first.
Speed Force does have this... There's the thing called the Speed Force aura. So, that is like... It's kind of like a... God, I'm crossing the streams of nerd shit right now. But like, imagine building a stable warp field within the Speed Force. So it's like a little bubble in which things pass it at regular time and speed for you within the Speed Force as you're traversing and using its power. A sort of like relativistic excuse to still be able to speak normally.
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part. And it's funny, like animation and even the show and stuff, of all the things that like when you put them on screen, like in motion, that you kind of stand out and you go like, oh wait, that doesn't work anymore. It only works in a comic. The one thing that never really comes up is the speed at which communication happens.
Oh, interesting.
And I actually had this thought the other day, not related to The Flash, but related to the movie Interstellar. So,
sure.
You know that planet where they go down and every hour is like 7 years or shit for the guy on the space station.
Yeah.
So then I had the thought of like, not just if you recorded a message and sent it up, because then you're talking about how long it takes to get off the planet, this little package of information. What if you just kept an open channel and time is moving at one speed in one location and a different speed in another? Does the guy on the space station just hear like crazy slow-mo, but it's just them speaking normally? Or like, how does time dilation work when you're like live?
Interesting.
And that's the piece that they never, I mean, you don't have to, it's a comic book, but it's the piece that like they've never even had to pretend to address with the Flash.
I mean, that it's also
when he's running at super speed and talking into the comm. How do they hear it? And also, how do they talk back to him before the mission is done?
First of all, time dampener. Second of all,
sorry. I forgot.
This is also...
Ye of little faith.
It also is a real thing. Like, even just time between, like, people in space right now and down
Well,
here,
I know, but the time dilation there is so minimal. And also, that I don't think it's, like, perceptible. But my question, I guess, is just... Would you be able to hear the difference in time?
No, I don't think so. I think it would literally just take a while to get to you.
Right.
Like, I don't think it would.
But that's why I was like, is it different if it's like live?
No, I
like
think it would still
stream of things.
No, I think it would for you, like on like doing it would be instantaneous maybe, but like for them they'd be like, hello, like.
But here's the thing that I love is when the Flash is running crazy fast. It's great, fine for him to send a message and they can hear it.
Yeah.
But it's another thing. They have to send a message back. And it's like that message better get to him like 50 nanoseconds ago. Because he's already there.
Yes.
That's the piece they never like. Flash is running around and in comics and in TV and that he's just talking to Batman and shit. They never.
But to him, he's not running, like he's not going so fast. He's going at like time is changing.
I know, but for Batman, he is.
Yes.
So there is time dilation and they just never
address it,
deal with it. Which again, they don't have to. It's a comic book. It's fucking fine. But it is funny when you think about that a little bit. But yeah, the Speed Force aura, basically the way that it would like, it doesn't enhance your senses, but it does alter your senses. It alters your perception of things because it's relativity. You're perceiving things at normal speed when they are happening in the outside world, not at that speed, which means you just have, in the real world, you just have more time to take in the info and things like that. Now, the one sense that you can speed up with the Speed Force is, I mean, it's not a sense, but you could do speed learning. You can actually make the neurons in your brain fire faster. using the Speed Force. So you can actually like rapid learn. And Flash has used this to like pick up a bunch of books, learn how to build a bridge in like 3 seconds, then go build the bridge. The counter to that is once you stop using the Speed Force, that knowledge fades quick.
Yes.
He doesn't just keep all knowledge forever. He's not Metron. But he does have the ability to very quickly, temporarily
understand something.
Like limitless, unlock everything in his brain for a specific end, and then it kind of goes away when he stops using the Speed Force.
Or he finds out he has a tumor.
Oh, yeah, like Phenomenon?
Yeah. I did actually like that movie.
I did too. I haven't watched it in forever, but
it probably doesn't hold up.
I watched it like at least 5 times as like a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was one of those movies where it's like, oh, yeah, I've seen Phenomenon a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I don't know, but I did the same thing.
Yeah.
He learns fucking Spanish so he can talk to that family.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it was like we don't have all the choice that we have nowadays, just like at our fingertips, that we just watch weird stuff and you're like, well, I know I like this with Rent Phenomenon.
Now you're like, I can watch Limitless and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think I've covered that. Speed Force doesn't necessarily enhance senses, but it does give you more time to pull things in. But it can make you process things faster, which I suppose has the knock-on effect of making maybe your hearing more precise or things like that, because your brain can just process more information. But it doesn't change the capacity of like your eardrum. Like you don't get to take in different information. You can maybe just process it more or better.
All right. Let's leave Twitter and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them.
First and only question comes from the real Josh Gill.
Oh, sexy Gill.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to see you on Pornhub. Say it.
I can't. A, because the voice is too hard to do, and B, because I don't want to say your choices are breathe or come.
Well.
Ugh, God, what a dark episode.
More like breathe or yum.
Whatever, we already won our award.
We're just living up to the standards we'd set.
I guess. Ugh.
Real Josh Gill asks, Ozymandias and Deathstroke, are their senses superpowered or just heightened? How do they stack up against each other?
Ozymandias is an interesting one because he is not technically superpowered in any way. He is meant to just be
fucking smart.
The fucking smart, genius smart, and also the peak of like physical perfection.
Sure.
The reason that he has like the reflexes he does so he can catch bullets and stuff like that is because he is the combination of that he has the physical reflexes to move fast enough and stuff like that, and also such a genius that he can read all your body language and that, so he has the head start that he needs to make up for not having actual superpowers. So he actually, I mean, I guess it depends. If you want to call it's like the Flash question. If you want to call your increased ability to analyze and make use of the information your senses are providing you, if you want to call that an enhanced sense, then yeah, he's got that. Because his brain is better. So he's better using the sensory information.
Sure.
But his actual, like, there's nothing special about his hearing or his vision or anything like that. He's just a better analyst, essentially.
Yeah.
Deathstroke is slightly different because Deathstroke does have like a medically, like chemically enhanced body. That used to be the like he uses 90% of his brain, that kind of shit. But
which doesn't mean anything.
But he's also faster, stronger, all those things. I think it's
harder, better, faster, stronger.
He doesn't have like enhanced vision where he goes, like I can see the gamma spectrum or shit like that. But like, I think it's totally reasonable to say he's got like eagle eye vision. He just has
really good vision.
I do think they are improved senses. He's not getting
super.
new. He's not getting new abilities.
They're not super, right?
Because yeah, he's not super, but I think they are basically the best they could possibly be. So compared to other people, yeah,
Feels
totally feels like it's enhanced or better or whatever.
Yeah.
But they are slightly different because, yeah, Ozymandias doesn't have any of that shit. Deathstroke is like chemically enhanced, basically. So that's the big difference. Plus, the Deathstroke's healing factor thing means that like they also don't degenerate, or not to the same degree over time. Meaning that his senses, compared to his age, actually do technically get better because they aren't declining.
Sure, yeah.
They stay where they are. And so, there's that too.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
That's right.
Interesting.
No.
No. Oh, God.
Tricked you.
Porn.
First question comes from Diaper Gal Kate, who asks, do super senses work like regular hearing, or is it more complex?
Right. I mean, so this is carrying on the conversation we've been having. So sometimes it's just your ability to process the information you get, but it doesn't change the information you're able to bring in the first place.
Yeah.
Because just biologically, an ear can only do so much or whatever.
I feel like we have a book that answers all
but
these
we
questions.
do have that anatomy of a metahuman
Yeah.
book. In the case of something like Superman, especially because he's an alien, but also because he's fucking Superman,
Oh my God.
his ears are different.
Yes.
Can I tell you off the top of my head exactly
That
how?
book might say it. But
No, the book might say it. But Superman can not only hear a wider range of sounds, he can also hear them from further. And that's an interesting piece because that implies both pieces, that his ears are sensitive enough to pick up every little variation in like vibration. Because the further away it goes, the more a sound dissipates. Because the sound is just molecules knocking into each other as waves.
yeah.
And the further that goes, like real waves, the more it kind of dissipates. So it means that his ears are, so sensitive that he would literally hear every molecule moving,
Sure.
basically.
Yeah.
Because he hears things from like around the world. So it means he can hear every single molecule moving all the time. But that also means that his brain is so much better adept at screening out noise and honing in on certain things. So he has both an improved like tool to bring in the information and capacity to process it. So Superman is better on both fronts. But technically speaking, I think his hearing works the same way as ours does. Where he's still just, his brain is taking in the feeling of vibrations. I think he can also do it through his sense of touch because he can like hear things from space, which implies that like maybe at high altitudes, he's only just feeling the vibrations of molecules and stuff.
Jesus.
It doesn't work in the blackness of space, but in like high altitude and stuff like that. But essentially, he's just like his eardrum, and possibly his body is just like a giant tuning fork, and then his brain sorts out what it means. So he's just better in every single way because he's Superman.
Oh, now I get it.
Other senses. I mean, I'm not a biologist, but the difference between an animal that can only see in black and white and animals that can perceive color is, there's cones and rods, or in some cases, no cones.
Yes.
In the eye. I don't think it's crazy to assume that then as a Kryptonian, he just has more and different of those receptors. So he's got ones that can pick up X-ray, and he's got ones that can pick up gamma, and he's got ones that can pick up radio frequency and infrared and all that stuff. But then again, it's not just that he has an improved instrument or a better instrument for that. It's also that his brain is better at parsing it out. Like, we can't tell our brains to be like, today, I don't want to see green, and just shut that off.
That'd be cool.
But theoretically, that's what Superman is doing constantly.
Yeah.
Like, he's actively shutting off the things he doesn't want to see until he wants to see, and then he turns off the visual spectrum, turns on the other one,
Or is it just about like a refocusing?
I mean, it could be that too, but either way, his brain is way better at it than ours.
Yes.
So either he has like a muscular or like a neurological capacity to turn off parts of his eye / turn them on, or he could just take it all in and he just knows at any given time what he wants to look at.
Yeah.
Either way, fucking crazy.
Yes.
So I think when you get into the more real like alien characters, the ones that aren't meant to just be like humans from another planet,
Yes.
then you start getting into writers and artists being a little bit more creative about like, no, like their senses work like this. And then it's like totally different mechanics. Then it's like a different sense. But for the most part, when we're just talking about someone saying you have super vision, you have super hearing, it's meant to generally, I think, operate the way that ours do, just more.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Dr. DC Resident Neo. Crazy.
Hey, stick with it. One day you'll be Dr. DC Attendant Neo.
Oh my God. Then you'll be Dr. DC acting Neo.
Yeah.
Attending?
Yeah. Dr. DC McSteamy Neo.
Was it acting? When are they going to actually do the...
Yeah. My dad's stand-up bit he was workshopping.
So funny.
Acting chief medical officer of health. The doctors are always practicing. When are they going to get to
it? I do think about that joke more often than I should.
I mean, it's a good joke. It was just weird in a real conversation to have something delivered so like
inorganically,
like a vital bit.
Yeah,
like acting, practicing. When are they going to get to it?
It's very funny. Resident Neo asks, do any street level heroes have super senses? Like, does Duke Thomas count as someone with super senses because light powers?
Yeah, Duke Thomas, aka the Signal, is one of the various members of the Bat family, has an activated metagene now that allows him a form of both photokinesis and umbrakinesis. He can kind of control both light and dark.
Whoa.
But a sort of sub-power of his is a thing that he calls ghost vision, which is he can see like where light and dark have been.
Whoa.
So he can kind of use it as like an afterglow. He can like think of like detective mode in like Arkham Origins,
sure,
where you
yes.
like piece together the crime scene after it happened. He can kind of do that. He can see like, no, like light would have bent here or moved there, and he can kind of piece together like a trail.
That's awesome.
So he can like get like images, like ghost visions of things that had just happened because he's seeing like the difference in the effect of light and dark and shit like that. So he has like, that's a meta gene thing that is largely like vision related. That is like an enhanced super sense. And yeah, Duke Thomas is totally like a street level here. I mean, listen, there's also versions of Duke that are kind of like, I think in the Tales of the Dark Multiverse, there's a version of Duke that becomes like the World Forger or some crazy shit or whatever. But
sure.
Generally speaking, he's part of the Bat family, right? He's like punching drug dealers and shit like that. And so he's got a pretty cool power that way. Other street level. Well, in the 2005 or 2006 question series, he was kind of like, they called him like an urban shaman. So his thing was like, he would get like crazy high, but like cities would speak to him.
Whoa.
He could like hear the voice of Metropolis and shit like that. And he would like commune.
Stop stepping on me. Ow! Ah! That hurts.
All these fucking bugs.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. He could like kind of commune with the city. So he could get like, yeah, he would sort of not speak to it like directly, but he would get like visions of things and it would like kind of guide him, tell him where to go. very kind of like shamanistic sort of thing. But that was
Shamanistic.
how much of that is the drugs and how much of that was actually happening, or how much of it was serendipitous or whatever. But like, there's something to be said that there are certain places, not every place in DC, that actually do kind of have intrinsic souls. There are both living sentient places like Danny the Street or Ranks the Sentient City or stuff like that. But there's also like Gotham. Gotham is very obviously like a city with a soul.
When you like read detective comics, like Gotham's like the other character in it.
Yeah. It's Carrie, Charlotte, Samantha, Miranda, and
Bruce
Gotham,
Wayne and Gotham.
and Gordon.
Yeah.
Is this the episode where Bruce broke up with her on a Post-it note?
We were on a break.
Joker broke Baryshnikov's legs.
Oh my god, that was great storyline in Sex and the City.
Baryshnikov?
Yeah. What a bonkers.
So insane.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
show, man. I mean, I don't know anything about Sex and the City. Is it weird that I wanted Aiden to work out?
I mean, he was the best.
I
think
him to
so.
work out. Is he better than Big, though? Do we need to start a Sex and the City podcast?
Oh my god. Everyone's better than Big. Big's a piece of
Cucks
shit.
in the City.
Yeah.
Our Sex and the City
Jesus
rewatch
Christ.
podcast.
That's where you went? Fucking, I got a whiplash from that fucking left turn.
Miranda's guy may only have one ball, but those reviews better be 5 stars.
You good?
I think so. But yeah, I do think there's like a... Oh, who's the other character that can fucking speak to cities? Oh shit, he's on the Authority. Fuck, I'm not gonna think of his name.
I've got an authority. You think I would know, but
Oh, motherfucker. I don't normally do this, but this is gonna bug me if I don't. I'm gonna look it up. Who's the guy that can speak to cities? The Authority. The Authority.
name's Big.
All right, hang on. More about the Authority. Let's... People are screaming right now. This is probably worse than the game. They're just like, you idiot! Jack Hawksmoor. Fuck. There we go. He's the guy that can literally... He has the power to speak to cities. So that's
Hawksmoor sounds like something I'm into.
I mean, the Authority is very cosmic, but like that power is almost inherently street level, and that's like a sort of heightened sense or a different sense. So yeah, I do think those things are out there.
Didn't acknowledge my Samantha.
Oh, go on.
Hawksmoor. More like Coxmoor, if you ask me.
Oh, Samantha, you whore. Oh,
Kim Cattrall.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I just remember her rooting and tooting in like a barn.
Oh.
There's the farmhand, didn't she?
I'm sorry, is that the way you describe sex?
Yeah, I'm going to go home after this and ask my wife if she wants to root and or toot.
How do you have a child? Was it the root or the toot? I need to know. I'm trying to have one.
I'll never tell.
Oh, God, Samantha, you whore. Now give me a cosmopolitan, you bitch.
I always liked Charlotte.
I mean, Charlotte's my type.
Yeah. I mean, like physically, she's definitely my type. She's definitely like such a wet blanket, though, that I'd be like, God, you're boring.
That's true. Yeah, can you mix...
Because Charlotte does not take charge.
No.
She
Give me
not...
Miranda's personality in Charlotte. Right. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot just happened. Interesting.
I need to write some fiction.
Yeah, quote unquote. Let's just say there's a tsunami on the way. and only I can freeze it.
Jesus Christ. All the way back. Okay, let's move on.
Sure.
Next
Sounds
question.
like a good idea.
Yeah. Next question comes from a Cup of Marvel podcast.
Oh.
Or no,
cup.
a Cup of Marvel comics.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where I got podcasts from. God, this has been a long time. My brain's starting to malfunction.
Oh, baby.
I know. Is there anyone with Peter Parker of Miles' Spidey-like senses, or I guess, maybe Miles?
I don't mistype.
Spidey-like.
I probably mistyped.
Yeah. Just copy and paste it.
Then the formatting's all weird.
Just do paste without formatting.
Not like this.
Jesus Christ. Miles can only anticipate immediate danger, whereas Peter's...
Wait, hang on. What the fuck is paste without formatting? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm sorry, did you not know about that?
I'm furious. Is that like a...
Yes.
It's always an option?
Always.
Motherfucker.
If it doesn't show up when you right-click it, then it'll show up just by going up to paste, and then it's like a drop-down menu. But yes, it's always an option. I always just paste without formatting. It's the easiest way. I can't believe you've been typing this whole time and didn't know that.
I'm so angry. I've never been angrier.
I'll show you when we're done. We're going to save you a lot of
I
time.
believe you.
Miles can only anticipate immediate danger, whereas Peter's spider sense can warn him much further ahead. Love the podcast. Can't wait to tune in to current episodes on 51. Thanks, Colin, Doctor, and Richard.
Oh, man.
Every time he answers questions, it makes me laugh so hard.
Something is
So
is
close.
coming.
It's coming.
Can't wait to get like a question that's like so...
What?
Is he dead? He's like...
I fucking love this. I love the idea that they're asking future, like the questions of the future in the past.
Very, very funny. Really enjoying this.
Oh my God. Good. At least you guys are going to stay as skinny as this is forever. I watched the video of us doing the name draw because I think that's today.
I know.
I was like, what happened?
I was a slim boy.
God, you were so slim.
Yeah. I was probably still over 200 pounds, though. I was
Were you?
probably like 210 or something. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, well, fuck this guy.
Looking at yourself.
Oh, I hate this guy. What an asshole. What a dick.
It's 3 years ago.
I mean, I guess I should be thankful I've only gained this much in 3 years. But when I think of how many years I have left,
oh no,
logarithmically,
uh-oh,
it's frightening.
Yeah, the percentage is a lot higher than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, it better slow down.
Yeah. So, does anybody have a sensing like danger?
A danger
abilities?
sense? Do you know characters whose like entire power revolves around a danger sense? Is Hawk and Dove.
Really?
Yeah. So Hawk and Dove get their powers respectively from a Lord of Chaos and a Lord of Order.
Sure.
And are meant to generally be avatars of war and peace, respectively. But here's the thing with Hawk and Dove's powers in most versions of the comic. They can only activate them by yelling their name.
Sure, like Pokemon.
When there is danger.
Oh.
And as soon as the danger is gone, their powers wear away and they turn back.
Oh.
And it comes up all the time where like they stop a bad guy and like a reporter is there or a cop is there to talk to them. And then like Hawk or someone is like, danger's over. See you guys. And he has to like run away before he just turns back to Hank.
Oh, wow. So does he like fall out of the sky sometimes because he's trying to fly away?
No. And here's it's a little iffy, like they fudge it, as you do. But that is was a feature of Hawk and Dove's powers is that they could like feel the danger and then they'd go like, oh, that's it. And they'd say Hawk and Dove and they'd transform. And then as soon as it was over, their powers would get rescinded. So like it was more intense than the Spidey sense thing because it was like, if there's no danger, you don't have powers.
That's so weird.
That's not, I mean, that doesn't fully hold in Hawk and Dove, but that was kind of a conception for a bit, at least. But yeah, I think that one's kind of interesting too, because it's like almost built in that you theoretically shouldn't be able to abuse your power.
Yeah,
because you don't even have it when there's not a cause for it, kind of thing. Yeah, it's sort of interesting one. That's the one that came to mind for me, was Hawk and Dove having a very specific kind of danger sense. I think there's other characters that have that sort of like awareness and things like that, but a very specific, there is danger. Yes, there is not danger.
Does Superman have something like that?
No.
Or is it just because all of his senses are so strong?
It's just because he's always on. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, he doesn't also have like a super danger sense. Although there's probably a Silver Age comic where he says he does or something. But
yeah. I'm assuming it's more of just like because all of his senses are so strong, he can just sense when shit's changing.
Yeah, and there's a difference between people who are just smart enough or experienced enough or just aware enough to be like something's off.
Yeah.
Batman's got that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like Batman always knows when something's off. He doesn't have a danger sense other than just the weight of experience and knowledge.
Sure.
But yeah, Hawk and Dove's the one that I thought of for that one. I think it's kind of interesting.
Totally. Next question from Cassandra Kane Batgirl, who asks, can you lose a sense? Like if you had good eyes but lost them, then replace them with new eyes, do you still have that sense?
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, your sense, well, there's the two halves to the sense thing, which we've been talking about this whole time, which is what you are using to bring in information, the instrument.
Yeah.
And then there is what you're using to analyze the information given to you, which is your brain or the rest of you or whatever, your soul, whatever. So Superman will always have the brain. He'll always be able to massively interpret more information than we can. So even with our ears and our eyes, he would see and hear better than we do, or more than we do, because he could pick out more distinct sounds or see more shades of colors or things like that. But he couldn't see X-rays if he lost his eyes and got mine transplanted into him. He couldn't see X-rays.
Could you imagine him trying to do the laser eyes? It's just like,
well, although this specifically brings up an interesting question, which is, I mean, yes, he couldn't do the laser eyes,
or he would do it and burn out his eyes.
I mean, listen, we're jumping so many sharks here that like a human to Kryptonian organ transplant is even viable.
But would that just like burn out his eyes?
Well, here's the thing, and then the question is, if he can emit light and heat from his eyes, he can also theoretically emit the other spectra, X-rays and stuff.
Yes.
So not only would he not be able to bring those in, but like my eyes can't handle him sending that shit out.
No.
So he's losing abilities for sure, but he's definitely also losing senses, right? My ear is only built to, and my eardrum is only built to detect certain things. He can make way more of that than I can, but that doesn't mean he'll be able to hear like a lower frequency than I can hear. So he's fucked that way. So, there's the two halves to the sensory experience, but yes, if the premise here is that there's some sort of crazy superhuman organ transplant, part of that comes with the instruments and vice versa. If Superman donated his eyes, let's say they transplanted them into a human, that human doesn't all of a sudden get eye beam powers because that's tied to his solar absorption and shit like that.
Exactly.
But
those eyes could just handle it if they...
But they'd probably start perceiving X-rays and gamma rays, but they also don't have the brain to parse it. So they'd probably be driven insane.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, they'd be like, I've seen 700 colors of cerulean. Like, they'd be like they'd tear their eyes out.
Yeah, it's like that with the fucking like color that we've never seen before. That the idea from the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's his name books?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could absolutely lose senses then, I guess is the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next, we're leaving the place we're at, which is Reddit.
Wow.
And heading over to the Doc Squad.
Fuck.
Yeah. Haha, bitch.
nowadays everybody wanted ducks like they scored something to say, but now the ducks scored when they moved the ducks just to score the gibberish. Motherfucker, exactly. The ducks about scored.
Two ducks go around me outside.
So what do you ducks to some score that you hate? Ready ducks trying to bring score to your way?
Wow.
Want to scored things in a doxy your way? Just study it, docs, and then score to UA. Nailed it.
God, you're good.
Yeah.
Just watching a king and his craft.
Oh, I'm a wordsmith.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question comes from the Tyrant Ryan, who asks, so what would you say is...
To somebody you hate or anyone trying to bring trouble your way?
It's weird. You got that exactly.
Oh, man.
So what would you say is Dawnstar's most impressive feat? Also, I know in her first appearance, she shows her powers are better than Superboy's super sight. But are there any other good examples of her being better than Superman or even Supergirl?
Right. So Dawnstar, another member of the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
She comes from the planet Starhaven that is populated by a race called Amarins. Which
If this is also something star, I'm going to be really mad.
it's the race is called Amarins, as in a portmanteau of American Indians. Because the premise is that a bunch of Native Americans leave and go to space and colonize this planet.
I mean, that's kind of
so
cool.
Dawnstar is a First Nations character
That's
from
right.
space.
Yes, I do remember that.
Which is pretty cool.
And handled really, really well, right?
I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Sure.
It could be a lot worse.
Sure.
We should be thankful it's as good as it is.
Yeah.
But her inherent okay. Her race is like renowned as like wayfinders and navigators and stuff. Like it's that kind of be like, well, what are First Nations people good at? It's like that kind of lazy shit, but whatever. You know, that they're great stellar navigators and stuff like that. There's a comic. I want to say it's like between Crisis and 0 Hour.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure there's a comic, though, where she implies that she is so inbred that those powers have compounded in her.
Oh, God.
That ability has compounded in
That's
her.
not how inbred works.
I don't think that's like the canon reason, but I'm
Sure.
pretty sure it does get said at one point.
Good God.
But essentially, she is unique in that she can find anything or anyone anywhere in the galaxy.
Wow.
Like she can track in space, which means without sound, without smell.
Yeah.
She just has an innate tracking ability, which is essentially an extra sense. Because it's not just a heightened version of the ones that we have. She just has a sense of it.
Yes.
And that's her superpower. It makes her super valuable to the Legion of Superheroes, combined with the fact that she has wings and stuff, but she can survive in space, first of all. Mm-hmm. And also, in space, she can fly faster than light.
Jesus.
But she doesn't really have, like... I mean, she can fight and stuff, but she doesn't have, like, offensive powers. She doesn't even really have defensive powers. Her powers are...
tracking,
flight and tracking.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, and this gets to the first part of the question, Dawnstar is underutilized, underappreciated.
Fair.
I would say, generally. I mean, the coolest thing that she could do is literally track across galaxies. And yeah, because it's different, it does work better than Superman's senses, where he's just like looking real far or like listening real hard or whatever. Like
she can just go.
Yeah, it's like innate. It's something different, which is kind of cool. Dawnstar plays a decent role in Crisis on Infinite Earths. She's one of the first heroes that Harbinger recruits in that.
Everybody's in that fucking thing.
And she and I can't remember the other characters. They go to Commandy's Earth. And they find one of the first anti-monitor towers, I think. So she's like, she plays a role in Crisis on Infinite Earths, sort of separate from the rest of the Legion and stuff like that. She didn't really show up that much in the new kind of Legion stuff, the Bendis stuff. Again, I think underutilized, and it's probably largely because her power is neither offensive nor defensive.
Yes.
So, and the other thing, which, and I read this in a blog, I'm not going to take credit for it, but they made the observation that it's like sometimes for the story, you want people not to be found too quick. And so there's a lot of stories where she's just like, oh, I have him. Oh, I lost him. It's like she's constantly like failing her powers, or her powers are failing her. So they kind of undercut her incredible ability a lot over the course of comics.
Yeah, because they're like, where's that person? They're over there.
You're like, they're there. Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool. Thanks.
Exactly. So I think she suffers from that a little bit too.
That's fair.
Yeah. Very cool character though. Really neat design. And just a really kind of unique, interesting set of powers.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Next is Richard and Doc Vore.
Oh, God.
That was a great moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I still apparently have some arenas of naivete.
I know. Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was paste without formatting.
And that people watch porn of people being eaten.
I mean, oh, God. But like, it's so fucked up.
But sometimes it's like literally like a monster eating a person. Like you want to be eaten by a monster is like a thing people are into.
Oh, it's weird shit.
Yeah.
I will say there's a point. This is tied back to the fucking Patreon episode. Back in theater school, there was this porn that got like circulated between the whole theater department. And it was like two dudes dressed as pterodactyls, but their dick like was hanging out of the suit, and just a regular human woman.
I feel like I've seen
these two pterodactyls like railing a human woman. But while that's happening, this little hand puppet, like Muppet pterodactyl, comes up in the front of the screen and just kind of goes like,
I do remember this.
I am almost with you with the like, I want to get railed out by two dinosaurs. But what part of you wants your viewing experience to be like, oh, and their baby is watching?
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
weird.
Cute and weird.
Yes,
like,
that is weird.
Who is that for?
Well, Richard and Doc Vore asks,
weird dino pedos.
Are there any supers in DC that only have the power of seeing ghosts?
Only have the power of seeing
And is that
ghosts.
A sense?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could. I don't know what you would call that. Some sort of spirit sight, spirit vision kind of thing. Ooh, a character who can only see ghosts.
I'm so scared.
That's a really tough one. And I suspect I'm not going to think of anyone because all the characters I could think of who can see ghosts have something else going on. They're at least a little...
Or they're a ghost.
Or they're a little sorceress or something like that. Like they've got magic as well. The idea of only the passive power. Just the sixth sense thing. Although he is a ghost. That's the twist.
That's the thing. Yeah,
he doesn't have the power of seeing ghosts. He is a fucking ghost.
Yes.
Yeah. Spoilers. And then they go to the beach that makes you old.
I kind of like that movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I kind of want to.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah, God, a character who the only thing they can do is see ghosts. I'm racking my brain. This is probably another one of those Silver Age things where it's like, I'm the ghost seer. There's just like someone out there with a fucking name or some shit.
There's one over there.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, come on, man. Ooh.
I can't think of one because generally the perception of ghosts is tied to a connection to magic.
I think there's some ectoplasm over there.
Yeah, it froze the bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my answer is full. I don't know / I don't think there is one.
Wow.
Because
prove me wrong.
Because you think of like Phantom Stranger, Constantine.
Sure, yeah. All have other.
They all have other shit they can do. Dead Man. has the power of possession. In addition to just being a ghost, he also has the power of possession and
Yes.
stuff, which most ghosts do,
Yeah.
but he has a very specific one. So it's kind of like,
Nobody?
yeah. I can only see it happening in a story where it's like somewhat like the Thestrals thing in Harry Potter, where it's like someone sees something so
Fucked
horrific
up. Yeah.
that now they can perceive the veil,
Yeah.
but they can't do anything about it.
Or the hellhounds are about to
And
get
that
them.
sounds 100% like a story that probably exists, but like hell if I can name it or name them.
When the hellhounds come for you, that's when you can start seeing them.
Fuck. Not like this.
Not
like this. I'm so excited that we're into season 4 now.
I know.
Over on Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch.
Yeah, coming out every Monday.
Ooh.
Next question comes from Bruno.
Bruno.
When the comics hit your eye.
Like a big Portugal. That's a Bruno.
Who asks, please talk more about Dr. 13, a character whose entire thing is disproving phenomena like ESP and the supernatural in the DCU.
Yeah, Dr. 13's like an old character, like
Really?
from the 50s or some shit like that. Yeah, Dr. 15's thing was
13.
Yep. Dr. 15 is 2 fingers too many, if you
Oh,
ask me.
oh no. Also known as Mr. Hauser.
Doogie?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
13.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Uh,
Yeah, Dr. 13 is a character whose shtick was basically like, all of this shit is hoaxes and I'm going to prove it.
okay, sure. That's not really a power.
It's not. He didn't have powers. But he was
Okay.
an investigator, and his whole thing was,
Houdini?
I'm going to disprove this stuff. He actually teamed up with Phantom Stranger a bunch in Phantom Stranger's like original series, and magic stuff would happen, and he'd be like, "It's fake," and shit like that. And to the point
I would
where
have gotten away with it
he
too
would
if it wasn't for you
he
damn
like
kids.
accidentally released Tala, like Phantom Stranger, the closest thing Phantom Stranger has to like a true nemesis. He released this sorceress because he was like, "This isn't real," and he did something that caused some sorcery thing.
What a bad universe to be that character, though, because it's like here makes sense. There, it's like it's probably real.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Terrific says he doesn't believe in God and a bunch of things, but but he's not saying like you don't have magic powers. He's saying you have
Yes.
powers, and I bet eventually I could get to them scientifically.
Sure.
Like that's kind of his shit.
Okay.
But Dr. 13 is just like, nope. Just very
Hashtag
funny.
fake news.
But yeah, so there's a bunch of these like Phantom Stranger, Dr. 13 team ups where it's like, is it magic? Is it fake? What is it?
Sure.
The true irony of all of that is that Dr. 13 eventually marries a full sorceress
Really?
and has a child, Tracy 13, who is magic.
That's fair. And he's like, nope.
Yeah, which is so funny, right?
I like that he still won't believe it, though.
It's a really bad dad.
Yeah. Nope.
You never believe in my magic,
Because it's not real.
honey.
All
But
right.
yeah, I mean, there's something kind of interesting about that idea too. It's almost like he's like down a sense where it's like happening around him, and he's like, "This isn't it."
It's true.
Like he's almost like willfully ignoring the proofs of his senses.
Yes.
Which is a very like reasonable thing to do, but eventually you have to, in a universe like that, you have to face the overwhelming, relatively concrete proof. Here, no one has shown me an actual poltergeist, but in that universe, you can just be like, "It's over there. His name's Norman."
Yeah.
He'd be
yeah.
like,
He's actually a gentleman ghost.
So I think that's kind of a funny thing for that character, because he's just like, he's almost like, I see it, I hear it, I can kind of feel it in my soul.
Nope.
A soul definitely exists.
Yeah.
Phantom Stranger's my best friend.
Nope.
No. Yeah. Sort of an ironic kind of character to bring up in this episode, but I do like that.
It's like flat earthers.
I mean, really, truly. I mean, here's the thing. There might be a story later where he's like, I give up. I know it's real. I mean, he probably does, but then still goes about debunking the actual hoaxes. I think it's probably more of the shit, but it is funny in those early ones because I'm positive there's one where he's like, this is so not real that I'm gonna like knock over this altar or whatever the fuck he does, and it like undoes a protection spell or a binding spell, and Tala escapes, and Phantom Stranger's like,
That's really fun. I like he's basically Scooby-Doo.
Oh, here's another. Tracy 13. She's another one that can tap into like a city.
Oh, really?
She can tap into like the
what
magic
are the fucking
of a
odds?
city.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was Tracy 13, the daughter of Terrence 13, the original Dr. 13.
Weird. All right. Final question from Butt Fart Butt.
All right.
Who asks, are there any comics that address the kind of mental burden that reading minds places on a character? For example, if Saturn Girl is constantly reading minds, does she ever run out of storage? Does she ever confuse others' memories for her own?
Right. I mean, so in the case of someone like Imra Ardeen, Saturn Girl, another member of the Legion of Superheroes, big Legion ep this week.
Yeah.
She is an exceptionally skilled and powerful psychic. That's not to say that, like, I think even in relatively recent memory, she's had it happen. Well, maybe it was Future State Legion, where something happened with her memory. She was perceiving something that wasn't the way it really was, and maybe she had false memories implanted or something like that. Like, they do come back to the idea of the burden of psychic powers, but it's never like the storage issue, because I think psychic powers are more like the cloud.
Okay.
You can access other people's, but you're not necessarily like Barry with his speed learning. You're not going to keep everything they ever learned in your head forever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories with psychic characters where they talk about the ethics of it, or we don't like to do this, or they'll talk about, like, there's like mental violations and stuff like that. Where it's like, if Martian Manhunter, like, he'll use the word like I could rip the information out of you.
Jesus.
But it's like, oh, so that's not okay. Great,
Yes.
We've established that. There's a comic where he is temporarily holding the Joker's mind insanity, and Martian Manhunter, maybe the most powerful psychic in all of DC, goes, I can't hold this for very much longer.
Wow.
Like, I mean, that's also kind of like a fucking comics thing where it's like, it's the Joker.
Sure, yeah.
But it's also that idea of, like, there is like a strain and an effort to psychic powers. Even for the powerful, they can't just do it all, or not long term or things like that. I do think there's ones where again, not specific stories here, but things that they would cover would be like kind of like the noise thing, like Superman with his hearing, but just thoughts are loud. There's that thing where it's like, on my planet, because we're all psychics, we know how to govern this stuff. I came to Earth and I was like, holy shit, like, you guys think loud. It's like people in traffic being like,
that's interesting,
because we just don't condition ourselves to.
Oh yeah,
because we're not a psychic society. We don't pay any attention to how we think. So we're just loud and reckless in thought. And so some of these characters come to Earth and just go like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point.
Which is kind of like it's an interesting idea. I think it's really cool. I mean, that stuff comes up a lot. I mean, that sense requires a lot of management, because it's, again, like the thing we were sort of positing with Superman, it's one where theoretically you can turn bits of it on and off. All these psychic societies, we always set them up as having rules. This is acceptable. This is not acceptable, because we as readers need to be like, there must be privacy, right? Like, a true psychic society might have no concept of privacy.
Yeah.
Every thought is everyone's thought. You know what I mean? But we always set up because we're readers and we're like, that sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're saying, I can choose. Is it private if you're just saying, like, I'm still hearing it, I'm just not paying attention? Or are you not? are you shutting it off? We talk about psychic barriers and stuff all the time in comics. Like, they can shut it off. So that is different from every sense we have. We can't voluntarily shut our senses off. I can put my hand over my ears, like my hands over my, not one hand.
You can close your eyes.
I can close my eyes, but that's not the same as shutting off my vision.
Sure.
I can't just like turn my tongue off, ladies. Saved it.
Do you
Brought
want
it
to
back.
breathe, or do you want?
No. So yeah, I mean so you have to imagine that the sensory dexterity and strength of characters with those kind of senses, or someone like Dawnstar, is she just constantly know where everyone is in the universe? No, she must be able to turn that off or focus it or point it. So all of those characters have to have a control over that sense that we never have to have over any of our senses.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild when you think about it.
Yeah. That might be the biggest power that they have. Yeah.
But it's also that thing of like, Jesus, like humans, everything's so goddamn loud. You're always feeling, always smelling, always thinking, always like, just like, you motherfuckers. You're just noise.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that is the last question. You know what time that means? It is
10:23. Oh, wow.
No,
It's not. Wow.
Not even close.
We're
No.
doing all right.
It is time to play everybody's favorite game. Can you guess the name of the character based on someone who does not read comic books could describe that character to us?
If it's porn, I'm going to flip this table. Let's just say this character can either breathe
or
oh, God. So disappointed. I did like a comment that I saw in the Discord, which is that I both make way worse jokes than I used to on the podcast, but also I'm still horrified.
Yes, but by yourself.
That part hasn't changed. It's just focused at me now.
Yeah, yes, now you're horrifying yourself.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
I dropped a quarter underneath the dryer. Why don't you grab it?
Oh, no.
I saw a friend on Facebook the other day wrote that he was like, he thinks marriage is people just agreeing to legally become siblings.
Oh, no. Because of porn?
I don't know. But then I said,
is that what he means by it? Or that he means that they're all sexless, so you're just living with someone?
I guess.
Probably a different way to phrase that, given the 21st century appetite for step-sibling porn and shit like that.
Yes. That's very funny.
Gross.
All right.
It's clue number one that these characters are step-siblings.
Yeah.
One character is stuck in a dryer.
So I think that was kind of the comment that I made back at him was I was like, is why my wife keeps getting stuck in the dryer.
Oh, you're consistent.
Yep. If nothing else.
I love it.
If you don't know if this game works, I send a photo of a DC character to my wife who does not read comic books, nor does she care for them. She sends back 4 clues describing what she sees. I know who the character is. The doctor does not. Are you ready for your first clue?
I am ready.
Okay. First clue. Radioactive Fingers.
Ladies.
Do you want to breathe or get radioactive fingered?
Give her the old Chernobyl.
Oh, what a blast.
Give her the Hiroshima. It's a radioactive finger blast. Jesus Christ. No.
Let's just say there were no survivors.
No, not like this. Porm.
He's got to stop writing those jokes for us. I keep slipping them in.
Yeah, we let Porm into the writer's room. Okay, radioactive fingers.
Yes.
Interesting. And only fingers, not just generally radioactive. Unless it's a very specific image. Okay, let's cycle through our radioactive folk. Blight.
No.
Dr. Phosphorus again.
No.
Atomic Skull.
No.
Okay. Director Bones.
No.
No. Okay. All right. Let's just keep.
Next clue.
Yeah, please.
Next clue. Great thighs.
I could be anybody. Dick Grayson.
No, that's not really where he shines.
Well, no, but apparently for this character, it's the fingers. Radioactive Fingers.
Yeah.
And great thighs.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm not even close.
No.
I'm not close.
No.
Get me closer.
Oh, okay. Do you want another clue?
Yes, please.
Third clue. Used up all the green fabric at Joanne's Fabric.
Emerald Empress.
It is.
Oh, fuck yes. I am your king.
Final clue would have been a giant eyeball sidekick.
I definitely would have gotten it.
Yeah, I figured. So I was holding off on that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Kneel before Doc.
Considering all of the lanterns out there, I'm really impressed you immediately knew.
Oh, yeah, baby. Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Crazy that it worked out also on a Legion episode. To have,
Yeah.
a Legion adjacent character.
Totally.
Love that.
Crazy. That was Emerald Empress, which means it's the end of the episode.
All right.
We'd love to hear from you residents. Were any of you able to get it by the third fucking question?
Yeah.
Maybe you got it at fucking fingers and you knew. Make sure that you send us a question for next week's episode.
Oh, yeah. Next week's episode, as voted on by our Golden Age patrons, is going to be all about Dr. Fate.
Holy shit.
I gave the option between a bunch of characters that I like because this is my birthday month and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, is that how we're playing November now?
Well, that's what I did for this. And you chose Dr. Fate. So send your questions about Dr. Fate, about Naboo, about the helmet,
Naboo.
about the Tower of Fate, any of that kind of stuff. So
I can't believe we are rocket shipping to fucking Docmas.
yeah, that's kind of wild.
It's 3 weeks away.
Well, and we might as well talk about it right now. Since we brought
Yes.
it up. So
Are we announcing what we're doing this year?
well, I think broad strokes. Yeah. So
Are we making the big announcement too?
Wait, what's the big one?
The other thing we're doing during Docmas?
What thing?
The
how we're doing Docmas?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay.
So here's the thing. We're recording Docmas on Sunday, December 5th.
Sure. Yeah.
This year. This is the 5th Docmas
Crazy.
that we've done.
That's insane.
And so, in consideration of having to work the next day and also, general health.
I mean, I don't know if we're doing this for health.
I mean, I am. This is the healthy option for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to clean all that shit out. This is unofficially dubbed Hot Miss.
Yeah, baby.
We're going to do Hot Ones Doc Miss. So
Plus 2 more sauces.
Plus 2 more sauces because there's 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But increasingly spicy wings every episode.
Oh my God.
As we go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The other fun wrinkle, as long as I can make it work with our setup and all of that stuff, is we'll probably live stream it.
The whole fucking day.
So if you want to bomb in and join us, you can. And then if you don't, that's fine. We'll release the episodes as they come out.
If you want to see the Doctor's reactions to Docmas this year, you should definitely.
You better not have gotten it. Okay, I only ask that if it's another nude image of me, you warn me so that I can turn off the feed or something.
Look, if I give you something like that, you don't have to show it to the feed. You could just look at it personally.
Sure, that's true, I suppose. Okay.
Just gonna be a male stripper dressed as Superboy or something.
You know what? I would have preferred a lap dance or something to the thing from last year.
The nice well-meaning
Well-meaning
gift I gave you.
Come on.
I thought it's a character you really care about and a man you find attractive. I don't know what's wrong.
Listen,
with
everything that's happening in that image, I'm on board for, but I can't do anything with that gift.
I mean, I could think of a few things to do. But who knows what I'm going to do this year.
But yeah, so Docmas 5, aka Hot Miss.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's coming.
Oh my God, it's going so fast too.
Yeah, it's going to be...
It's literally 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, so I mean, if you just have general random questions, we're going to use mailbag questions for some of it, but if you have just random DC questions you want to start sending for Docmas, just
it's 2.5
use
weeks.
hashtag Docmas, send them in, because I'm starting to parse out where questions are going to go for each episode and stuff like that. And yeah, just go for it. It's fucking almost here.
2.5 weeks. I just
know.
checked.
That's really crazy.
Bonkers.
We also have to record a regular episode the day after that. Like the final regular episode
Oh my God.
of the year, we have to record the day after Docmas. I just realized that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What a nightmare that's going to be.
I always love those ones, though, where it's like there's an episode where we're like crazy low energy. And then it's like 12 more episodes are coming. Don't worry. You'll understand how we got here.
Oh, that's fun. It is like a reverse. Yeah. We've done that before.
Yeah. It's like freeze frame. I bet you're wondering how I got
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Yeah.
we do Docmas.
That's funny. I like that. So send in those questions to our various social media platforms, such as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast,
our Twitter,
at Dr. DC,
our Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast,
email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com,
jump on our subreddit,
r/Dr_DC.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
We can get more than just calls from Ryan, though we do appreciate it. 208-917-DCU.
If you're nasty.
I mean, apparently, at least Ryan is. Yeah. Show me where you're nasty.
Right in the blowhole. Why is Porm so degenerate?
Because dolphins are degenerates.
I mean, that's true, but
they have like a sexual problem.
I know.
Nope, no transition here. We're also on TikTok.
Yeah, at Dr. DC on TikTok. It's I have not like given a single piece of actual comic book information. It's just me dicking around
and reacting off of other people.
Yeah, it's just a fun time.
It is very fun. Everybody should follow the doctor on there. And of course, you can go to our website,
drdcpodcast.com or .ca,
and give us those 5-star reviews. We got them at the beginning of this episode. We always want those.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can make us a fucking piece of media, that would be great.
Yeah, maybe next someone can like woodwork for us.
Oh, I could think of some woodwork they could do.
Yeah, or masonry or something.
Oh.
Yeah, give us some masonry.
Yeah, use your fucking talent for us.
Yeah, one of you must be a mason, right?
Yeah, right?
Shipwright? Who among you is a shipwright? Christen the ship the SS Dr. DC.
Oh, I don't hate that. Oh, yeah, can somebody name their boat after us?
Oh, yeah, Docky McRich face. Nope, never mind.
The SS Cum?
Just that. Just end it there. You hit gold. Stop digging.
Why does it say scum? Scum. It's snake cum.
That's when a bad guy ejaculates. It's scum.
Scum.
God, that really paints Obi-Wan's vision of Mos Eisley.
Oh, yeah. Just scum
Never has
everywhere.
been such a wretched hive of scum
scum
and villainy.
At least they're having a good time.
Yeah. But yeah, so give us those reviews. If they're not on Apple Podcasts or Facebook, take a screenshot or send us a link to wherever it lives so that we can talk about it on the episode. So we can see it.
And if you want to try to get something to us for Docmas, now is probably the last minute you could do it this week. But you can send us some physical mail.
Yeah, send it our way to 301 Hogue Street, Hoge Street in Whitehorse, Yukon. Y1A 1V8. You can send it to either. You can send it to Richard Eden or Reed Mannion.
That's right.
It's too much energy. I gave it too hot.
I don't know. I was like, was it going to land this plane? We've also got a Patreon. Every single week, you can get extra episodes, more content, and jump on the Dockscord, our fucking Discord channel, baby, where we play games and we have book fucking reviews, and there's
all sorts of fun stuff. Generally, a lot of fun at my expense.
Docksners is coming up, isn't it?
Docksners is coming up. Yeah, there's all sorts of fun stuff. So, so head on over there. All the Patreon levels give you access to the Dockscord. And all those levels help us keep doing what we're doing.
We got a bunch of new subscribers this week, and I love it.
Yeah, so welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I'm assuming after you get past that episode with Kyle, you'll be gone shortly.
Couple of
and if you want to support us even more and listen to even better content, listen to our other podcast.
Even better content? Ghost Facers, a Supernatural rewatch.
Holy shit.
We're going through every single episode of the CW Supernatural. We have started season 4. Castiel's in the mix, baby.
Finally. The boys are finally together.
Grip us tight and raise us from perdition.
Yes.
We're there. But we talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the show. It's a ton of fun. So yeah, go check that out.
Mm-hmm. All right. That is it for this week. Ciao, ciao.
Adios.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.